Fellow Ambazonians, good evening. Uh, this is the public square. This platform is called the public square, and it is a forum that has just been created, and I've been working on it for some time now. And the main purpose of creating this forum is to add to the various voices out there that are advocating for the independence of the Southern Cameroons, especially considering the fact that some of our brothers and sisters who started so well advocating for us have kind of gone off the rails and are doing something contrary to what they should be doing to push forward the argument for the independence of the Southern Cameroon. So I thought it necessary to put together this platform, and this is the very first episode that I'm putting through today. And the main topic that I will be discussing today will be um, the arguments or the basis on which we are advocating for our independence, based on the injustices that we have experienced since coming together with French Cameroon. And in order to make this argument to have some meaning, just like in a case where if you go to trial and you're trying to present a case, it is always very powerful when you are able to use the words of the person you're trying to convict. If you can have them on tape saying the things that you want to convict them for, or if you have them on video doing the thing that they are being accused of, then it adds more meaning to your argument. So for that reason, I decided to use two persons of French Cameroon origin, or what we call La République du Cameroun, to speak on behalf of us, to say arguments that are in favor of us, and so that we can now use those arguments to push our cause internationally, and also to our own people to explain exactly, because there are still a good number of our citizens who do not fully have a good grasp of our story. So the first person that I would like for us to listen to is the current Minister Delegate to the Minister of Justice in La République du Cameroun. I'm talking here about Jean Didier Momo. He was on TV some time ago, and you'll be surprised how well he argued our case. So without any further waste of time, well, with regards to the studio that I have here, I would like to talk about it and the setup some other time, but I just want to have this video today quick, clean, and clear, and we'll get the message, and we'll expand on it. In future episodes, I will be able to have some other speakers with me, so that we bring up topics and we analyze them. Like I said, this is supposed to be, or the name of this program will be the Public Square, and it's supposed to be a forum where we analyze current and enduring issues facing our revolution and the world at large. So let me start by playing Jean Momo. Let's listen to him, what he is saying, and then we analyze it, and at the end, the second person will be Paul Biya himself. When he was in Boya, we'll hear him, his pronouncements when he was in Boya. And then I will bring something in a lighter mode to talk about the behavior of some of our previous activists, I should call it that, who now are doing something else, and compare that to cartoon service which we used to have when we were growing up. So let me start with Jean Didier's video, and we will look at it, hear what he's saying, and you can bear witness with me.
pour occulter le problème de fond. Je veux dire que mais ça fait partie des usages, des jeux et des enjeux de la politique. Ça fait partie des habillages. Hein? C'est-à-dire qu'il faut mettre quelque chose dans la balance pour dire que bon oui, vous avez brûlé le drapeau, par exemple. Hein? Et donc vous avez brûlé le drapeau, et puis quoi encore. Et puis donc voilà, on va négocier à partir de là. Donc oui, le problème de fond, et le monsieur qui a parlé de l'Angola, l'a touché. Au-delà de ce que monsieur Abouema Tchoui, le ministre, un des témoins encore vivants, a écrit, que j'ai lu, et que les témoins survivants comme lui, Bia et Dorothy Djema, qui connaissent l'histoire de fond en comble, devraient pouvoir trouver une solution à cela. La chose est simple, c'est que les promesses n'ayant pas été tenues.
Just before we continue here, what Jean Didier just said there is this, that in the heart of the issue, Paul Biya and the likes of Dorothy Njoma, they know exactly what the problem is because they were there from the origin. And that the main problem that we have here is that promises were not kept. Promises were not kept. That's the big message here. This is La République du Cameroon's minister delegate to the Minister of Justice. So it's not just anybody out there. So he's someone who has some legal knowledge and he knows what he's talking about. So let's listen to him again.
Les anglophones ont été abusés. Voyez-vous pourquoi on en arrive à la République unie alors que la constitution de la République fédérale avait stigmatisé que la forme de l'État ne changera pas.
Again, what is he saying here? He is saying, or maybe I should use the pidgin language. Wait to talk for you and say, promises will be kept. Because we first constitution, the federal constitution, where we get on, if we state clearly, say the form of the state make no man in no changer. Say the form of the state make no man in no toucher. Now what to where the federal constitution it talk. So the one way they be tontona can bring a united republic. It means that they broke that agreement where they get on with we. So we'll continue for this.
La Constitution le dit que la forme fédérale de l'État, on ne la touchera pas. Il y a un article qui le dit. Malheureusement, on fait une autre constitution en 1972 en ignorant l'article qui a cimenté la relation avec le côté anglophone.
Again, if you talk about the so-called referendum where they began from 1972, where we can remove or do away with the federal system, thereby violating the condition where they will write and clearly inside the federal constitution say, make no man in no touch, make no man in touch the form of the state, but they will change them. And from there where we did for this trouble, we'll get up today. So now why that I play this audio so that make even those of them when La République du Cameroon citizens made a listener hear their own minister where they tell them the real truth about the cause of this conflict and how the problem will be solved. So we'll listen again wait to wait.
La forme fédérale de l'État n'est pas susceptible de changer, n'est pas en débat. Et toute question relative à la forme de l'État est irrecevable. C'est écrit, noir et blanc.
Alors, Maître Momo, nous sommes d'accord avec...
I like this, my brother. They say like for drink white mimbo. I think I'll talk about it, leave you 1 liter. He explained this thing clearly. If we are here today, La République du Cameroon Life will talk, say, oh, we are one and indivisible, we are one and indivisible. But if you listen to this argument, And if they really want to follow through, examine those documents where we get at that time, you go see them clearly say, Jacques Momo will explain exactly which way we will talk about and we be the truth. And why that way at the bottom of the fact say French Cameroon, they know the one can shut down for negotiation. They know say they don't get any case. They don't get no case. They know say when they shut down, ask them question, 1, 2 questions, they don't feel answer. Now why that they wrong? More listen again what you talk.
Est-ce que vous dites, mais dès le départ, quand même, il faut le dire, le Cameroun a été divisé à cause de la colonisation. Il y a eu la colonisation.
Oui,
voilà, dès le départ, c'était quand même un pays. Oui.
J'en viens, je dis quoi? Ça c'est l'histoire. L'histoire c'est que bon, il y a eu les Anglais d'un côté, du côté anglophone et les francophones.
C'est pas une mauvaise chose si on veut quand même réunir les deux parties.
Mais il y avait déjà l'unification. La fédération c'est quoi? C'est l'unification. Il y a eu la réunification. Oui. La réunification c'est en 1961. Oui. Mais la réunification sous la forme fédérale. Maintenant, en 1972, vous avez cassé, brisé cette fédération, cette l'unification.
Oui, tout à fait.
Pourquoi vous pensez que la fédération c'est une séparation? La fédération n'est pas séparation. Il y a eu l'unification, la réunification des deux États en 1961. Oui. Et donc maintenant en 1972, parce qu'on a trouvé le pétrole à Limbé, dans la partie anglophone, les Français qui étaient encore au pouvoir au Cameroun et qui sont toujours encore au pouvoir au Cameroun jusqu'à ce jour, ont manœuvré avec Aïdjo pour créer l'État unitaire en violation de la Constitution fédérale.
Okay. Maybe we hear again what we just talk now. He explained clearly the very reason why they decide for violate the terms of that federal constitution. Say now because France, when them don't always rule that country, they will discover say petrol is for Victoria. They decide now for do away with that federal system because under the federal system, each state if they control its own resources. They control French Cameroon, they will get their own resources, we get our own resources. With the control land, we only put a percentage of the resources for the national treasury. But they will want to unite them so that they can't take control of everything. And why that way the French, they will connive with Ahijo. Same they destroy that argument we brought get for them. And then the woman they try to argue like how some of the life for talk say for argue like say federation not separation. Now he did explain it for themselves. Federation, no, not separation. Like the United States of America, now a federated government, but now one country. Why it be said they want they always argue like say federation and separation? Now because say they want to be in control of resources. They don't want to make me be in control. So they know say when they say federation, that means say now we will get that control. But just for clarify, it not be here say for this argument, it don't mean say one federation. But we get for understand how we live from that federation to which we will today, and for proof say if they will violate the federal constitution for that time, even if we go back to federation now, they still violate it. Now the main purpose why they bring this argument so that we understand. Nobody say we want to go back for federation. No. Now I just want to clarify that one. Maybe we will not be confused. If they will respect the terms of that first federation, we'll not for there for us out there today. So we'll not go back there because if we go back for there, we'll not be sure say it will still be respected. So move here wait till to talk again.
En violation de l'article qui est le ciment, qui était le ciment de la réunification, pour pouvoir s'accaparer du pétrole de Limbé. Parce qu'on a vu que si alors que dans l'État fédéral, les biens de chaque État lui appartiennent. Comme je vous ai parlé des mobiliers de tout à l'heure, ça lui appartient. Mais il y a une quote-part que vous devez donner à l'État, au pouvoir central. Or, en créant ex nihilo la République unie, ils ont avalé tous les biens des anglophones.
Ouais.
Écoutez, c'est pas parce que je suis francophone que je vais faire la langue de bois. Il faut dire la vérité.
It is explained here exactly what I don't already talk about. Saying that because they want to get control of that we all the way there for Victoria. And he don't explain here, say, look, because they be francophone, say, he go, they talk lie. So he give for speak the truth. So I hope say we'll ask Mr. Jam to do now. I hope say he will talk the same thing. So that one no problem, but at least he give with this video. So we thank you for that one.
On les a spoliés, on les a volés. La vérité, c'est ça.
C'est
clair. Ils demandent qu'on revienne au statu quo ante, qu'on revienne à la constitution du départ, qu'on analyse l'article inamovible qui était le ciment de la fondation de l'union. De l'union, parce qu'il y a union. Ne croyez pas, comme je vois dans le quartier, les gens pensent que le fédéralisme va diviser les gens. Mais les gens sont comment? Ils ne comprennent pas que c'est une union toujours, mais sauf que c'est la forme de l'État qui change, qui donne le pouvoir à l'État fédéral, aux États fédéraux, chacun d'avoir une certaine autonomie. Il n'y a pas un plus grand bien qui ne puisse arriver au Cameroun. Et d'ailleurs, c'est pour ça que les sécessionnistes ont dit. Ils ont dit, l'État fédéral ayant été dissous, l'État unitaire appartient maintenant à la France. Et ils appellent le pouvoir de Yaoundé le pouvoir colonial français.
Exactly. In talk now say, the federal system of government will be getting. It will be now for we. This one way they don't make a now say na unitary government, when na France be connive made America, now France control them. So we will not really get anything to do with them. Because every decision is coming from France. That time when we will be in control until them, we will get some level of autonomy. Now we will not get them. So it explains them very well. Someone will listen for you.
Et c'est vrai, c'est les Bolloré qui vivent ici, qui agissent ici. Vous avez une entreprise, quand on dit investissement, vous allez voir les Bolloré, ils ne payent pas les impôts ou ils payent moins, ils ne payent pas le personnel, c'est eux qui font garder le SMIC à peine à 35 000 francs ici, alors qu'ailleurs, juste ici au Gabon, en Guinée équatoriale, le dernier manœuvre est payé à 150 000 francs.
Again, just for explaining to you what you talk again, saying that these French people, like the Bolloré, where they get all the big businesses, banana and all the like, now they get them. Saying that they own everything. And they pay workers very cheap, like CDC, they pay a person 35,000 francs. Where even for corner, Gabon here, when I'm French speaking too, they pay their workers better than we. And why the way some of we would even go work for Gabon, imagine that. That means that the terms of negotiation, where we want people to be better on our own behalf, they be worse than even the neighboring countries, where they're French speaking too. So these people then will really get a raw deal as long as we continue to build them. More listen for it.
Donc c'est eux qui font ça. Et les sécessionnistes ont dit ceci. Vous les francophones, restez avec la France si vous voulez. Et laissez-nous. Ou si vous voulez qu'on continue ensemble, quittez la France-Afrique, quittez les Français, et venez, on construit notre maison sans eux. Est-ce qu'un discours comme ça n'est pas compréhensible?
C'est une information peut-être qu'on n'avait pas.
Oui, c'est leur discours, c'est le raccourci de leur discours. Il faut que les gens disent la vérité. La vérité, c'est ça. La vérité, c'est que les francophones sont toujours liés à la France, qui spolient tous les biens, et eux, ils n'ont rien. Depuis le pétrole de Limé jusqu'au gaz de Bakassi, tout le pétrole Bakassi et tout ce qu'il y a dans la zone. La zone est riche, mais ils ne peuvent pas se développer. Parce que, regardez comment on a écrit même dans la Constitution qu'on va faire la décentralisation. Ça fait 20 ans. Même la décentralisation là ne se met pas.
Yeah, you don't put them. Say, now France carry all everything. We will not get nothing. Despite the fact that the resources in our soil. They carry all gold, we will not get anything. Whether or not the oil we there for Victoria and all the gas and all, they move them all. We will not get no control, no developmental projects, nothing. deep sea port where they don't sink them for years, nothing. They carry everything go. So it show clearly say we just then as slaves.
Pas en place. Pourquoi? Parce que les gens vivent bien en l'État et le peuple vit mal. Le peuple francophone comme le peuple anglophone vit mal. Il ne faut pas qu'on vous trompe. Nous, francophones, vivons aussi mal que les anglophones à cause du système centralisé de l'État qui ne nourrit que les Blancs, la France en l'occurrence. C'est ça la vérité.
Alors, Maître Momo, on a eu cette information ce matin, comme propre information dernière minute. La population anglophone réclame une présidence rotative ou régionalisée.
Est-ce que ce n'est pas normal? Est-ce que ce ne serait pas une revendication normale que eux aussi? Est-ce que qui a dit que comme on vient à l'Union, le président sera toujours francophone? Je crois qu'il faut tenter aussi un président anglophone. Pourquoi on n'a que 2 présidents pendant presque 60 ans?
Well, this one, and I think we will not even get for worry about that one because it talk about some people at the time where this video will be made say we ask say we too supposed to take the presidency because like, they don't always get them, but I think we don't pass that level, so we don't even bother to discuss this one because we no one get anything to do with the Republic again. So the next video I would like to look at the one for Paul Biya UCSF. Time where we go for Boya. He go make pronouncements today. I just want to make this one it go into the with memory say those where they still get doubts or those where they work slavery for French Cameroon. If their own president says if he acknowledge say we don't be in a 2 states who will come together. But some of them like Tanganji they come out to make noise say Cameroon are one and indivisible. Well, not like Tanganji, we're not even go for water because the man way no first get ahead. It too not man way they just trying to try. But I would like to listen for Mr. Paul Biya too. Here where to where he be talk time where we go for Boya. So more listen for Mr. Paul Biya.
Here we are in Boya. Here we are in Boya to celebrate the 50th anniversary of our reunification. As the English people say, better late than never. In fact, after a long period of preparation, we are finally glad to be here at this historic town of Boya, the town of legendary hospitality. I am glad to...
Now, person this way don't be president for how long? The time where he make this speech, if he don't be president for at least 20 years, it is still struggle for even read common words for English, but he be president. To show how unconcerned he be with the people for that region. So we'll just hear what you go for talk.
We in Boya, the bedrock of our reunification.
Good.
History has not forgotten that Boya was the headquarters of West Cameroon.
Now don't hear Mr. Paul Biya himself. Say history never forget. Say Boya been at the headquarters of West Cameroon. West Cameroon. Move here again.
History has not forgotten that Boya was the capital of southern Cameroon.
Southern Cameroon. Now don't hear Mr. Paul Biya. Boya will be the capital of southern Cameroon. Now the take we go say we get a federal system of government. from federal system of government to united republic, and now back to La République du Cameroon. That means say La République du Cameroon, they don't secede from that federal system where we get on with them. Time where we come together with them. So when we want to leave now, they say now we secede. No, we didn't secede. We will not secede. We simply acknowledge which way they don't already do it, so that we claim our own country back to things where they don't already claim their own country back. They don't already claim their own country back since. Now we will be late. We'll be too late for do the same. So now we don't stand and say, okay, since we have brought secede, maybe too we take back our own country like we have taken our own. They will come again and say, no, we'll be one and indivisible. How would you be one and indivisible? Is there like woman where you don't go marriage? You take a man a name. You don't take your man a name. You woke up, you come out, you marry, you need to bury that man a name again. But you still talk, say, no, but I be a woman. How would you be my woman where you don't already give up my name? It don't make no sense. So we can't be so clear with so much evidence where you see and like they run from the table when the second she don't eat the run in the one can she don't, but they go can she down for that table, and they when they she don't down for table they are undone finish. When they she don't down say they want negotiate, now all that we don't go. So they still try now for use force, but they fail to understand say no, even not even the most powerful country them like America, they don't ever be able to suppress a revolution. They've never don't ever be able to suppress a guerrilla war like the one way they inside now, because those where they fight, you don't really know them. You don't really know the person. If they say now who your opponent, go point at, if you know a few, but you don't know everybody. You fight now who? You fight an invisible enemy. So they never ever win. I just want to make we hear again which way Mr. Bia.
And history has not forgotten that Buea was once the capital of German Cameroon.
All right, so enough for Mr. Bia. So the next thing I would like make we take a look at, because I want to build a case from the federated Cameroon to where we did today and why we did here today. And the one thing I would like someone to really examine now the so-called referendum of 1972, because it be very critical for the problem we are inside today. The so-called referendum of 1972. So I would like make we see which way it be make and where we did today. That referendum, or the so-called referendum, it will be one of the catalyst moments in the life of the southern Cameroonians, where it will make we, now from that point where La République du Cameroon, it will start to refer to we like Anglo fools. Because the thing where they will do during that referendum, it will be so outrageous for where anybody with the right sense is not for free acceptance. But the fact say we people they never give way for pushback, because they will be cornered, they will be tricked. It makes them we look like so be foolish people. First thing I would like to look at now the referendum. And for that again, that so-called referendum, it be like now the day where the skies of the Ambazonian territory, they will be covered with this darkness, where we be start for the swim inside troubled waters from that day, 20th May of 1972. So if you look at the statistics for the vote where they will get on that day, the vote where they will get on, you go see them say that vote, it will show a 99% approval against a 0.01 against the vote. 99.99% approval for the vote for that day. Just imagine. And then you look at the ballot paper where they use them. Now I bring up the ballot paper. Now the ballot paper is where it is show we and yes. They bring ballot paper where they show we and yes. And then you give where we understand very well, say we and yes. And of course yes and yes. That means say we don't get any option for cast a no ballot. We don't get any option. The only option will be a yes. And you know it will be surprising say they will get 99.99. I don't even know why they make 99.99. They will just put on 100. They will put on 100 because no option will be there for people for cast a no vote. So which way I want to really carry them out from this place and say, since after this so-called referendum where Ahijo now, first of all, they will make the vote, if those of us who will be very, very small at the time. They will use voter's card like an identity card. That means for you to live from one area to the other, you not only have to carry your identity card, you have to carry your voter's card. That means you will not vote. They look you like say you be traitor, and they go for jail because they don't get voter's card. If election are open free will, where man the vote, I say like vote who you like. Why you get for the lock people if they never vote? For sure, say it been an intimidation. That was not a vote. And people where they vote not because they like them, because they get for vote so that may they be safe. So with troubles, we don't start things back then. Now to see that way, going forward, whatever we do, this idea for the Southern Cameroons for not get their own people like the military, where if you defend them, where the thing where we give Ahijo the freedom for just march inside the territory with the military, surround with leaders and threaten them, say, if we not just try, no accept this decision, we don't take them, we don't finish. They fear for their lives. They will not say that the wrong thing, but what they will do? Who will be there for defend them? Written way, it will be that the person wait for stand for back, he turn it back, he connive with them. For Sarah, United Nations, the same. They turn their back, the same way. So we'll be left alone. Nobody will be there for back way. And now why that way, even then now they insisted to the shame now for can't show their face for this trouble. Even as we find now. Because they know say their hands will be dirty. Their hands will be dirty. The United Kingdom, the United Nations, of course France and the Republic, they plan and execute everything. So we don't expect help from any one of them. So now what that way I want to say, going forward, make we learn from this lesson. The reason where we will be so vulnerable because we know we get any means to fight back. That means say from this moment on, whatever we do, we will make sure say we get a disciplined and equipped military where will be capable for defending people them when need be. We never ever again allow ourselves to be that vulnerable, that defenseless, where French Cameroon, it will use the gendarmes and the military for the come terrorize people. Because things will come together with them. It don't always be in this way. Every minute they will come make kale, just pick people up for no reason, beat them up, lock them up, release them whenever they like, or extort money from them. No, we are sick and tired of that. We are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And this nonsense, it gave from us end. Now why that would they where we did today? Say whatever it happened, we know if it allow ourselves to go back for be without a defense army. We must get the army where we go defend we. Anything short of that then will waste our time. Because as far as the French and the La République they be concerned, they be very untrustworthy. They be very, very untrustworthy. And for put salt to injury, you feel imagine say they don't make this fraud and then they turn around again for talk say, okay, this 20th May, now you not only saying that they were gonna become together, but we now where actually it symbolizes the day where they will sell away into slavery. That 20th May is symbolized the day where they will sell away into slavery. Then they turn around, make and say you get for celebrating as a national day. How arrogant of them for do that kind of thing. Same will turn around. Remember, 20th May, when I did the march. When at the day where it's supposed to be a day of mourning. 20th May is supposed to be a day of mourning for the whole of the southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. 20th May na a dark day. But they will make our commodity the march. I be sure say cow commodity march and look with it, they laugh. Say, hey, see those Anglo fools. They don't even know what they do. And then why they get right now for the Kowi Anglo fools because of all these things where they don't do them for we and will be so docile. Not because they will be one for be docile, but the conditions at the time will not be allow we to do anything about it. But unfortunately for them, and I would like in this situation, I want to expand on this because it be very painful. Say person, you go treat you like this. It dey like say the day where they rape woman, but that day when that day reach, they go tell that woman, say me celebrate her. Just imagine that. It be very painful. Say they not only treat me that way, but they make and say me will turn around, celebrate the very day where they will sell away into slavery. The day where they sell away into slavery, they make on the slave return. And for those of us where we decide, for whatever reason, for not be involved in this conflict or in this struggle, just imagine say you get Pekin, or you will be Pekin where you grow up. You see how some man in the country your papa and your mommy beat them up, treat them badly, but you be too young for do anything about it. You know so that thing with that man you do them for your parents, it not be right. So you really hope say someday if you fit get power for revenge on which that man you do them for your parents. That way you don't beat now. You stand till you talk your voice, it come out like man picking. When you still see that man, it come again for the trick your parents that way. If you no fit kick that man for a boss, that means you no be man picking. That means you no be man picking because I don't think say any southern Cameroonian, a day where if you talk say this narration where I make them now so, it get anything wrong with them. When I don't hear Jean Momo, his own analysis. When I don't hear Pobia, I don't talk. Admit and yourself. People, if these people they feel talk so, Jean Momo when La République du Cameroon citizen, how it be say people like John go to them, Mafani Musong with them, Atanji na illiterate. I don't even know what I know what to do. All these people go them. Why it be said them too? They don't feel understand like way the same way where Jam Momo understand. How they don't feel understand understand with story. When you talk with them, they actually say they get amnesia. Say their brain don't be completely wiped off where they don't know what they don't know their story anymore. Just because it is there for so-called to government. You go sell your own people because you want for the pick up crumbs for Mr. Biya at table. It'd be very sad. It'd be very, very sad, I tell you. For see, say we own people when them for the stand up now, for defend we, now them be they chop, they dine with the oppressor. So, fellow Ambazonians, this story it be very sad, but now we story. So we get for continue the fight. We get for continue to make sure say this injustice in no stand because we get a good case. Now just say this conspiracy it is against we, where not only we will feed stand push them until people they realize will be truly determined, and if we continue for fight, we sure say will be truly determined. Eventually, they will come to accept them. It don't always be say those when they struggle for freedom, it didn't ever come easy. But we on the case be so clear. It be so clear. You don't get anything with any person feed out on. So if you even look the thing where they do on time where they enter with territory. Time where they enter with territory, a rich territory will begin an established system of government. The first thing where they do now say they decide now for destroy all the businesses. Destroy all the businesses, both the public and the private ones. All businessmen where they believe for side where they do good business, they tax them out of business. Companies like PowerCam, they make and show say they kill them. Victoria Deep Sea Port, they kill them. Where they can't promise to you every time. Of recent now, Joe Bute come, Papa say make I can't tell when I say they go make deeps for the next 10 years. Wait for see whether something will happen there. They don't mean I sing song just like they sing Ring Road to today, nothing. Then we get Tico Airport, Manfe Airport, Wada, Marketing Board, all that business system, where they give me money, Cameroon Bank, Kilo Company, Nanga Company, Neba Automobile, UNVDA, all the company them where they keep we on site thriving. They realize that in order for keep we under subjugation, they get for make sure say we remain poor. That is beginning the strategy. The strategy for make sure say we not ever get the means for rise up against them. Now the way that they want to make sure say we remain poor so that we not ever get means for rise up against them. Because if you get money, you easily go buy weapons. But if you be poor, you go buy and wait it. But for them, they can't make one mistake. They can't make one mistake. As the condition will be too bad now, we realize that we don't survive inside the country, we start come out. Now we're there out for diaspora. Plenty. Nobody only say we did out plenty, we don't acquire knowledge and we don't acquire wealth. We don't get sense and we don't get money. And now you would use it now for kick their balls now. We use that money, we use that knowledge to get them out now for come back like that picking way they torture your parents where they small enough to do anything. We don't big now. We'll come now, knock them for their nose too now. So we want the country back and we know we'll stop until we get them. We did out, we'll fund this revolution to the end of time. So if they feel say if it go back again, move, go live for the way they did before 19 or before 2016, it no exists again. Since 2016 until the situation will be corrected for where we get back with independence. And might talk one thing. A lot of people get for understand say either they go live and go or we go bring them down. They go either live and we go or we go destroy their own very country itself. No other option, no they. They already get problems now, but the time never reach. So, now the thing that I want to explain for this matter, we get a good case, a bit just, both in the side of man and the side of God. So, we go for continue for the fight, for liberating people, then, because the reality, where we get for understand and say, as long as we be with French Cameroon, we don't ever see prosperity, ever. Never. It will ever happen, because even themselves, they be incapable of controlling their own selves. They not be used to orderliness. And the people where they in charge, they thrive inside the chaos, because of their bribery and corruption, it defeat them. For Yaoundé, I tell you, the most lucrative industry in Yaoundé is the industry of government corruption. Nothing else. What do they sell in Yaoundé? What's there in Yaoundé? The only thing that keeps Yaoundé going is government corruption. So if they should stop the other provinces from bringing in money to Yaoundé, what would they have? Who will feed them? Now all the people where they go Yaoundé, any small thing you go Yaoundé, every little thing you go Yaoundé. Now they keep them for them going. So if you even for institute the decentralization, it doesn't ever really happen. It can never happen, because if it happens, Yaoundé will starve. If there's true decentralization, Yaoundé will starve, not talk of federation. So it will never occur. So anybody who is dreaming about a federation in that country should just forget about it. That will never happen. Never. And that is why we must fight to make sure that we have our country back. Because there is no government restructuring that can ever make that country function. Because the system is not about one person, it's not about Pobia. Pobia can live today, the next person, that system will remain. So we have to leave them. We must leave. Now, I just get one more. Video. Let me see. We'll have it. Maybe I don't have that here. Let me see. I just have one more video that I wanted us to watch, and this is I just get one thing here where I want to watch them real quick, and this one, concern La Republique, but it concerns some of our own people, where they inside the struggle. Their behavior, where it be so persistent for the tribe to cause harm for their own very brothers, and they continue for doing even where they see some things they blow off their own faces. So I just want to watch this cartoon series. Well, that when we grow up, we watch the cartoon series. They call them the Roadrunner Show, where we call at that time Ninit. So when we watch on them, I will explain exactly what I want to talk. So, I think that we get the point here. The point here what I want to say. If we follow this, the behavior of the roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote, in a sense, Wile E. Coyote always try to set, it always try now to go set traps and for roadrunner. But at the end, Wile E. Coyote always fall back for the trap. He go one for plant some or throw bomb at him, then the bomb will finally come blow down for your own face. He will one for set any trap. Now use yourself to go fall inside the trap. So some of we people in way they feel say, oh, time with this revolution or the struggle be start. They feel say, na then get for must they call the shots, or na then get for must do this, na then get for must do that. At the point where they realize say that the people they don't throw them out, they now become they choose now to be an impediment to the struggle. But from time to time, they realize that when they want to set traps for others, the trap will just blow up for their own faces. And I just want to advise them, say, make this my brother them or my sister them, make them give up. Because when you do something over and over and over, it will blow up for your face. And you know, if no one for change your behavior, you will finally kill yourself. You will finally kill your own very self. So make them desist from this losing behavior and join the struggle. Make we liberate the homeland. If they will be truly, if their main objective at the start of the revolution will be for free homeland, wait, it don't change. Wait, it don't change. If you talk say your behavior now, it will help for free the people back home now. Because now the only true measure. Say, if your behavior, anything what you do, ask yourself, say, this thing what I do, now how it will help for free my homeland. If that thing will help for free homeland, then you don't get for do. Because if you do anything where you don't want free homeland, that means you aid the enemy. And that means your main objective for the start, if you been your own self-aggrandizement, you don't get anything to do with the liberation of Southern Cameroon. So that one, I just want to play this this cartoon series for remind them, say, at some point, you get to realize, say, a repetitive negative action where it already produced negative result, it get the tendency or the potential for finally eliminating. So it just be good to the change. So with that, my first episode for this presentation. Other presentations will come on. I will put other ideas together, and for her, especially, we'll try to be more analytical and using both charts and PowerPoint presentation statistics for really make the point and for clarify. And like I will talk, I will get co-panelists where we will debate the various issues where it affect the struggle going forward. But this one is just the initial setup. The setup will still go on, and we'll try to improve and get any solutions. This presentation today will be recorded, so it will be live. But future episodes we will try maybe for make maybe live, so that if we get commentary or comments from those with the reviewer. So again, thank you for watching, and we'll continue for work on the subsequent episodes and try to improve on any flaws we feel make today. So again, thank you.